Welcome everyone to the wonderful world of Paladins, again, for the second video in a row. This is gonna be not a gameplay commentary. I mean, it will be, but I'm also gonna be talking about one major thing that I think probably needs to be talked about. And I think that I have an opinion that a lot of people don't. And I think that might come from the fact that I'm probably a little bit biased on this subject as well, but I've come to talk about Jenos, this new character that's coming to Paladins in OB55, and my thoughts on him. I mean, obviously I don't have the biggest voice in the Paladins community. I don't think there's really one particular person that does. I think there are a couple people that have a bigger voice than others. But I've come to share my thoughts mostly because I think that mine are a little bit different than everyone else's, and it could just be because, you know, he's a new character, there's a lot of hype behind him. We've known about him for 2 or 3 patches now, and we're first getting our first hands-on experience with him. But I don't particularly care for Jenos. And part of that is probably coming from the fact that I am a healer main, and I'm probably a little bit biased towards my healer, Aldamba, but I don't know, he just doesn't seem... I don't know. I think that he has a lot of healing potential, and people could very well be good with him. You know, he has potential to change the competitive scene, probably. I mean, every new champion does. But I just think that for the time being, and probably for a while, he just is not going to fit in any particular place. Because he's not really a healer, but he's not the best damage hero either. So it's kind of a toss-up, because while he can do healing, 250 per second to be exact, he doesn't do enough sustained healing in my experience, which, mind you, isn't a lot. I've only played 1 game with him. But it's not enough to really change the tide of a fight like other healers like Ceres, who has a very short cooldown, and you can get anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 healing. And Aldamba, who can definitely solo heal and pocket heal, but he can also heal a large group of people with his gourd, and if the person has the card set up right, he can heal very quickly with his bending spirits as well. The thing with Jenos is, what they were going for is they were trying to get kind of a damage hybrid, you know, damage healer hybrid character. And I think that they did an amazing job. He heals, he does damage, you know. I think that people definitely won't take a look at him and be like, oh, he's a healer, I don't want to play him, because that is how a lot of people act. And, you know, when I first started playing video games, that was myself included. But I think he does almost a little too much damage and too little healing. And like I said, that could just be from my taste. I mean, I am a healer, so I am going to want to heal a lot more than... Is he reflecting that all back in my face? I think he was. I didn't know he could do that, but anyway. I don't think he really... I don't know. I'm afraid of what he does, I think. I think I'm more afraid of him, not, because I feel like he's kind of a false advertisement. While he does heal, he's more damage focused, and I think that's how a lot of people are going to play him, especially people that aren't from healing backgrounds. I feel like people will pay a lot more attention to the fact that he does damage rather than the fact that he heals. Now, that being said, that won't happen at all levels of play, especially in the competitive scene. He definitely will not be viewed as just a healer or just a damage dealer. He will be intended. He will be used as he was intended. But I think for a lot of lower levels of play, he'll end up doing more damage than he does healing, which at lower levels of play, a lot of teams will probably only pick one healer, and if somebody picks Jenos before, say, a Saris or Moldamba, then those people will probably look at the situation like, oh, well, I don't need to pick a better healer because we already have one. We'll do fine, but that won't be the case. And obviously, like I said, at higher levels of competitive play, that won't be nearly as much of a problem. But that's the thing that I'm afraid of, is he's kind of, like I said, a false advertisement. While yes, he does heal, that's not his main focus. And, well, I could be very wrong. This could bring plenty of people all over the community into playing a better, like, a more healing-inclined healer, because they, while they don't do as much damage, won't do as many frags, healing still does help the team. But I don't know what to think of him. And it could just be solely for the fact that he's only been out a few days, and I haven't had time to play with him, really. But I don't know. I feel like it could go. It's like two polar opposites. Either he'll get really used and he'll bring people into playing healer, or he'll get played like damage, and there will be very little healing coming from him. And while it won't affect, obviously, higher levels of play, because people playing at high levels will be able to tell the difference that a Jenos does not do as much healing as a Saris or a Moldamba. But I fear that local players just they won't see it, and that's what scares me. I'm not even sure why it scares me. I mean, obviously, at some point that he's not the best healer, but still, something about it scares me for the community. And maybe I'm just crazy, but I don't know. I really don't. I really hope that I'm wrong, and it does be the situation where it does turn a lot of people to the healers because they find it really interesting and really nice to help. But the only problem with that is with people not wanting to play healer like they normally don't. You can't. I don't know. I feel like they'll think that's what a healer does. A healer does damage, and that's not what a healer does. A damage hero does damage, not a healer. So it scares me for the fact that people might get the wrong idea, and that will in turn probably make more people upset with the fact that some people don't know the difference, and this is really far-fetched, I'm sure, especially since the game is in such a condition as it is. I mean, it's like 9 million players strong. But I feel like that could turn people off. It could turn people away from the game. And while, it is a small game, and a lot of people already don't see it as a standing game of its own, more of an Overwatch clone, people need to really just get past that, because it's not. But, I mean, as the internet is, a lot of people really don't play things before they give their opinion on it. Which, I mean, I'm kind of doing right now, because I've only played Jenos for one game. Granted, anyone that's played on the Paladins PTS when a new character comes out know that it's not the easiest thing in the world to pick up a new hero, especially just a few days after they've been announced. Oh, sorry, I had to burp there. So, I don't know. I think I'm afraid for the community, and I'm probably afraid for no reason. But I don't know. I'm really unsure about Jenos. I feel like he doesn't, and especially for healer mains, he doesn't do enough healing to really constitute being a healer. But for damage mains, he doesn't really constitute enough damage to really be a damage. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting situation, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I really hope, like I said, and I probably will continue to say until this video is over, I hope he turns people onto healers and they think, wow, this is actually really exciting, and they grow and they pick up a healer to put in their roster. But I don't know, as I've played video games for many years. My first class-based shooter was arguably the grandfather of the genre Team Fortress 2. I know a lot of people have played that game before, and then they went to Overwatch, or I have noticed, and a couple of friends of mine and myself have thought that, you know, maybe that the Paladins team knows that they might be serving to more Team Fortress 2 fans than they are Overwatch fans, which that's probably correct. I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility. I mean, you know, they have somewhat similar art styles, while Team Fortress 2's is a little more cartoony, but I mean, it's also 10 years older than this game, so that could have something to do with it. But I think that it has kind of that same charm, I suppose is the word, that Team Fortress 2 does as well. It's nice, it's fun, it's easy to pick up, it's not too highly competitive, while there is an esports team for Paladins, and a mess of an esports scene for Team Fortress 2. You know, that's still there, but it's mostly casual gameplay. So, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. It kind of scares me, but may have no effect on the way people play the game anyway. I don't know. I know I've been blabbing for too long, and I've said the same thing like 6 times over, but, you know, I don't know. It's an interesting situation, as it is when new champions come out, and as it always will be. I just hope that it doesn't prove to, you know, push into a wrong direction, and people actually, like, go away from the game, because nobody really needs that, and especially not this game, especially since it's so new. I mean, it's not even out of beta yet. The last thing it needs is its player base drop. So, I don't know. Those are my thoughts on it. I feel like he does have potential to be a fantastic healer, but I also feel like he will bring in damage mains that will play him as a damage character. They won't really focus on healing, and then obviously, like I said, that'll deter people from... It could ultimately deter people from wanting to play the game. So, I don't know. I'd love to see what the community has to say. Well, obviously they don't watch my videos. I'd still like to see how it pans out. I really would. But until next time!